That was awesome. Yeah, I was just saying, I get distracted easily, as you can tell. Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's going to be a while because I need to get the PC set up and I just don't have the space to set it up right now. So it's going to be a while. So for now, it's going to be Final Fantasy 14. And like I said, I'm more than happy for anybody that wants to join in as a group and do quests and dungeons and all that stuff. Honestly, I would prefer to do runs with followers and all that there in dungeons. So would. But I'm not at that point. I've changed games that many times, which is my own fault. Trying to find what I enjoy. And I think for console purposes, it's going to be Final Fantasy 14. Because my favourite game genre is, or will always be, MMORPGs. I just love playing them. Because there's so much goes into them. There's so much to do in them. Well, it must be the restriction. You know, yeah, you have to pay a monthly cost, but you have to do it anyway on World of Warcraft as well. So yeah, to me, they're the games that I want to focus on, and probably also can do like a lot of playing offline as well when I'm not streaming. Just not progress like the main storyline and things like that. But other than that, you know, I can do dungeon runs off camera, off streams. I can do all that stuff, and like I said, Final Fantasy 14 is probably is one of my favorite. It's one of the top MMORPGs for console. So we need to head back this way because we didn't get the last drop. Like another good contender is the ESO. If you prefer the Elder Scrolls more, it's optional. Is there as well. And then the other one is Fallout 76 if you're more of a Fallout fan. Me, I'm a fan of each of them, but for actual proper MMORPG style play, with the good dungeons and you know, you play your class on the focus of your class, what it is and the role. No, we'll do this quest line first. I like that feeling properly. ESO's good, don't get me wrong. The only problem I do have with it is your role in it isn't really that important because everybody's class has a way to heal, has a way to tank. Like each of the classes can be a tank or a healer very easily. What's that? I don't know. Anyway. So it does, and that would be my only problem with it. What I like about this game, like I said, is your role matters in this game. You have rules specifically for tanking, which is a couple of ones I can think off the top of my head, which is your gun, sword gunner, a gun sword, whatever it's called. Basically, Squall's weapon from Final Fantasy VIII, the Gunblader, the Dark Knight, the Warrior, the Berserker. They all are like actual proper tanking classes. Healing ways, you have then your Conjurer, who becomes a White Mage. Arcanist, I think, can heal as a Scholar. I think they learn. and I believe that there's a couple other ones. Then you have your DPSers, which is also like quite a few of them. And I like the idea that your actual class and role matters, and you will learn and perfect them. And also would like the idea of having one character that can do everything basically. So you don't need to have like 20 multiple characters. Unless you're specifically doing challenges, then yeah, you need them. Like for example, gear. If you're doing crafting only, you have very very big opening for this. Hardcore is another one. Zone lock. I don't know if it's possible doing zone lock. So don't. Whereas self-found is another one. You can do all them in this game quite easily. You can also do... Right, we're going to sit down for a minute or two and have a bit of a chill session. So, like as I was saying, you can also do... I'm going to go over to here a second and go to action, main commands. What am I looking for? Is it general? No. I knew there was one to put you into idle camera view, which kind of zooms in and goes around your character, which is handy for like you were kind of just chatting, which I'm button. So you see all the different logs you have here. You have hunting log, crafting log, gathering log, pretty self-explanatory. You have sightseeing log, which covers like important landmarks. Fishing log, that's going to be fun. Fish guide. You have your challenge log, and you have the orchestrating log, which is basically where you're playing, musical instruments, things like that. So I want to max them all. I want to learn everything that is possible for them. Then obviously you have your mount stuff, your map. You have here obviously character configuration. So this is where you kind of just go in here, you would adjust your cameras and all. Use your macros to set macros if you use quite regular. I don't know much about the macros, so I can't do that. Keybinds is more suited for keyboard than what it is for controller, where you can set them all like various stuff. HUD layout to adjust sizes of things to make it like easier for yourself. As you see, I don't use the chat section too much, so that's why it's minimized to quite a small size. The stuff that I see more are my hotbar, quests up at the top, whatever one I'm tracking, the realm time, the realm I'm on. Ah, there we are. So if we switch to idle on camera, it just basically puts into like a nice wee view where you're kind of chatting and all that stuff. So as I was saying, so I'll just see, this is what I like about another feature is amazing. Like if you're having a bit of a chat, you have the idle camera that just kind of idles between different things that are going on around you, and you see it going on ladybirds and all. But yeah, so I want to 100% all the logs. I want to max out all the classes. I mean, all the classes, all the professions. So, gathering professions, crafting professions, I want to max out them all. I also want to max out all the actual warrior, like the actual battle classes. I want to max them all out. Also want to max out the ones that you learn after that as well. So each starting class can evolve into, they are terrifying looking. Each of the starting classes can be evolved and progressed. They are horrible looking. So they are horrible looking. But anyway, as I was saying, let it continue on. So yeah, it's just handy that way, you know what I mean? But as I was saying, I want to do all that, and I was explaining about like the different evolutions, we'll call them, which is basically we are using a lancer. A lancer then over time, once they get high enough level, can become a dragoon. Archer can become a bard or a ranger, I think, are the two options. Conjurer becomes white mage, and I can't remember which one becomes summoner. Arcanists, I think, are the ones who become a summoner. I think they also become a scholar. Let's have a look at something a second. So if we go here and we look at, let's look at, so I also want to 100% the mounts and get minions as well. So I have a lot that I want to do down the line on this game, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun doing it. A lot of fun. What was I going to do? Yes, character. So let's have a look here at jobs. This is what I want to look at, okay? So we have Gladiator, Marauder, Dark Knight, Gunbreaker. They are all your tank classes. Melee DPSs are your puglets. They become monks, I believe. Lancer becomes dragoon. Rogue. Didn't even know there was a rogue. They become, I think it's ninjas or thieves. The samurai are the higher ones. Viper, I don't know much about them. Reaper, I don't know much about them either, so I can't say anything about them. Conjurer, which is the white one, and then I think they become either Scholar, Australian, and Sage. I believe they can become. Range, DPS, is your Archer. Dancer, I think, is one by itself. The Archer can become the Machinist, I believe. But I think they also can become like Bard and that as well, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't say for certain on that. The magical range DPS then is your Firmitus. Now, Arcanist. Arcanist is the one that becomes a summoner, I believe. The Firmitus becomes a black mage, but I think they also become something else. They have the red mage, blue mage, and the Pictomancer. I don't know anything about the Pictomancer. Blue mage is basically where you can learn the abilities of enemies and that. Red mage is a mixture of a black mage and white mage. Don't know how they call red mage out of that, but you know, whatever. Then you also have reputation as well from each of the towns, each of the main things. But then you also, if you go here, you then have your Disciple of the Hand, which is your crafting stuff, culinary, which cook. Alchemist, pretty self-explanatory. Weaver is a tailor in this game. Leather worker, goldsmith for doing jewelry and things. Armor, blacksmith, carpenter. And then Disciple of the Land is your miner, fishing, and botanist. Botanist is basic, as you've seen, does logging and herbalism. Mining, I believe, does just that, mining. Fishing, obviously self-explanatory. These all I want to max out. I want to max out and pick one tank class that I will use at all times.